Welcome to the Tom Matt Show. You are walking through the front door of the retirement zone. And now, your host, Tom Matt.
Welcome, everyone, to this week's episode of the Tom Matt Show. Thank you so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure to record these radio show, podcast, video, whatever the heck we call this thing now. We got so many irons in the fire. It's crazy. I mean, it's like a campfire at the OK Corral. I don't know. But last week, I'll tell you what, Roland Lazenby, author extraordinaire, sports knowledge guy, wrote the Magic book, talked about Lansing extensively in his 800 page giant book that he wrote. He will be back for sure. I mean, we clicked so well. It was just amazing. And I tell you, it was Leon Stokes, who was in the book, who played basketball for Everett High School back in the day, because half of that book is about Lansing and Everett High School. Leon Stokes, which I'm giving him a shout out because he wrote a book and we're going to have him on soon. He was the one who referred me to Roland to do some promotional stuff. And because I had no idea about any of it, and I did not know him at all, but now we're like best pals. And so check that one out because that was a great show, talking a lot about Lansing. Irvin Johnson, if you're a fan of the Lakers, a fan of Michigan State, if you're a fan of Everett High School, if you're a fan of the mid-Michigan area, that's a show for you. Okay, today's episode with my bud Justin Grinnell, Fitness Focus. Got some great points coming at you. Justin Grinnell is the owner and head trainer of State of Fitness. Been around for a long time. Used to be in East Lansing. Now he's in Lansing. He received his Bachelor of Science in Kinesiology from Michigan State University. Go Green, specializing in exercise, fitness leadership, athletic administration, and health promotion in 2004. He's a certified personal trainer through the National Academy of Sports Medicine, NASM, as I am, and which is one of the top certifications out there for sure. International Sports Science Association, ISSA, another great one, holds certification from the National Strength and Conditioning Association, Certified Strength Conditioning Specialist, CSCS. That's huge. That's really huge. You get into the fitness industry and you get a CSCS person, yeah, they know what they're doing. This is serious stuff. So all of this stuff, level 2 kettlebell coach, kettlebell athlete. Enough on all this. Justin's been on the show. This is his 6th visit. He's been here a lot. He's going to be here regularly as our local fitness expert promoting State of Fitness. We love State of Fitness, the whole business that he's built, his entrepreneurial attitude. The gym business, the gym racket is very, very competitive. So you got to be on top of your stuff. And so because they come and go, and that's the way it is, because it just takes a ton of time and it takes a lot of management, and it's all about the relationships that you develop with your clients and how they really want to come see you. And that's the whole thing about getting people healthier. We're both coming from that same place, Justin Grinnell and I, and his wife, Katie. They do a great job. He's got, you have 2 boys, right, Justin? 12 and 10, Brennan and Beckett?
Yeah, 13 and 10 now, 7th and 5th grade. You got it.
13 and 10 now, Brennan and Beck. So Brennan and Beck, well, let's let you talk about that stuff. You know, this is your life. You know the routine here. Let's get you in. Great to see you. Great to hear you. How you doing? Talk about the life, and let's roll, baby. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, life is, of course, the gym, but outside of this, the part-time job is basketball now. So I always had aspirations to coach, and so I coached the middle school team, helped coach that. 7th grade, my son played. And then I coached 5th grade. We do like a Red Cedar League, AAU, do a bunch of different stuff. And so I've been having a lot of fun with that. I help, run a league and all that. So that's kind of that could be the next thing I do down the road. I tell people maybe when I retire, I'll just coach basketball. So right now it's all for free and for fun. So that's really what it's like every day. I think my wife loves it, but I think she's probably like, oh my gosh, is this going to be every weekend? Or we got to go to an hour away, then come back and go to another game and this and that. But, at the same time, everybody loves it. And so my kids are quickly realizing that, wow, it's a little bit different growing up with a dad as a coach and a strength coach, because we're lifted in the basement and playing basketball. And, you can ask their teammates. I don't really favor them at all. They probably at times feel a little bad for them. I don't let them slip by. I'm not the dad that favors their kid, that's for sure. But they love it, and we have a great relationship, and it's been a great time.
How's Katie doing?
Doing great. She's doing all the same things I am from a different aspect, running the gym behind the scenes and making sure everything's taken care of, at home, of course. And, is a great supporter of what we're doing, here and at, with the basketball. So life's good.
It's so important to have a supportive partner, business partner. And when it's your spouse, it's even better. Because when you have, and you're on the same page with all of this stuff, especially now with your traveling and your coaching and doing all this stuff, it's overwhelming. And I see it. Another show we may have to do down the road, Jay, is all of this youth fitness, youth coaching, all of this specialization. It's so nuts. My grandkids are going through that now, and they're both really great athletes, and they're young, 10 and 8 years old, about, a little younger than yours. But I've been seeing it in Wisconsin, and it's serious business. I mean, I've been mentoring and coaching some people at Michigan State, students that I see at the gym. There's one young man named Caleb that I just saw him today, actually. He's a kin student, a junior, and he's very interested. Matter of fact, I may be having him come over to see you to mentor him, to just get some ideas. He's already talked to Chris Johnson. I've got him talking to some other people. And this kid is very aggressive. And now he's working with the softball team, a little bit of baseball, and I think he said the wrestling team. So that's the thing about mentoring these young people. It's there's a lot of, and I tell him, I say, there is some big time upside to the youth athletics and training, specialized training, coming down the road with fitness and training, right? I mean, you're in the boutique business now. I mean, your gym is very boutique. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I mean, as a coach now, as sports, I'm seeing it more directly on with kids. Is you get a call from a parent or a text or whatever. Hey, I've got to take so and so to soccer. They've got soccer the same night. They've got baseball and lacrosse and all this type of thing. And so you're trying to manage that because you want to be sensitive. I want kids to play multiple sports, right? So, even though it's in season basketball, these kids are getting pulled every direction. My take is soccer and baseball are played in the spring and the fall and the summer, right? They're the outdoor sports and basketball is the winter. And, so it's amazing to me that, wow, they'll tell me, wow, coach won't let me play my indoor soccer game if I don't make practice. Like, oh my gosh, so you're seeing all these aspects. So I really try to, sympathize with the parents and say, hey, they're fifth grade at least. I'm not going to bench him because he missed practice. If he really wants to go to baseball, let him go, and we'll figure it out. And they know my take on it. And so, from a coaching aspect, you're trying to balance that out. But I try to make sure that with the kids that I have, that I give them many opportunities to play and practice and get better as I can, without trying to take them away from other things and make that their only thing. And so, while it is tough to sometimes on my end to coach the team, I think overall it'll send the message that, hey, we've got to let these kids explore. They've got to also not do some sports sometimes and just do other silly stuff. And so it's a weird landscape because it's a money-making business. I told my son, he's pretty good in basketball. He's tall. And I said, look, you're not going to play for one of those really good AAU teams unless you're really good and you're older. We're going to play with your buddies for a while. We'll put our teams at AAU because the AAU coach could be much better than me. I got a lot to learn, but I don't need to spend all the money having them coach and do their thing and pull them away from their buddies at their school. And so I told the parents, hey, if you stay with me through 8th grade, I'll pay for all the AAU tournaments. We'll play the same teams that they would play if they played for that AAU team, but we're playing with our school team so we can get better. So mitigating all that's pretty crazy.
That's a really good attitude, and I'm going to carry this through, Justin, because we're coming up on break here. Justin Grinnell is my guest, everybody. I'm going to let me reset this. We're calling this one Fitness Focus. Justin's 6th visit with us. He's the owner, CEO, founder of State of Fitness, The State of Fitness. Excellent gym. Very, very nice in downtown Lansing. Sweet spot. If you're listening to this and you want to check it out, Justin's got it. We'll talk about some things. Coming up, Justin sent me some really good bullet points. Fitness focus for consumers, weight loss drugs. This is today's episode, everybody, where we're going to focus AI and tech. And will we ever agree, and I love this one, will we ever agree on the best diet? And I can't wait to hear what he's got to say about this. I got my whole opinion about all that stuff, but I want Justin to be able to just share his knowledge because that's why he's here, to promote his business and help you get better. Again, Justin Grinnell is our guest, Fitness Focus, owner of State of Fitness. You're listening to The Tom Matt Show.
This segment of The Tom Matt Show is brought to you in part by The Source of Light and Power by band leader Archibald and broadcaster Mitch Anderson. Hear the sound that is endorsed by Odyssey headphones, linear tube audio, RME converters, and Peluso microphones at sourceoflightandpower.bandcamp.com. This is the Tom Matt Show.
Second segment of the Tom Matt Show is sponsored by Craig Stiles, Ameriprise Financial. Again, full disclosure, as I say every time I do Craig's non-read sponsorship read for the second segment. We are fully invested with Ameriprise Financial. All of our retirement zone savings are with Craig. Thank God. Because we got a call from the office the other day, everybody. And, they got to do these annual meetings. And it was Karen talking to Sandy, and I said, "Tell Karen I don't need to talk to anybody about nothing. I don't want nothing changed. I like the way it's doing. Leave it alone." And she's laughing. I said, "It's doing so great. I'm just like thrilled. I don't have to worry about it. I got other things to do." So that's the way it rolls with that. Your Ameriprise financial advisor, hopefully, Craig Stiles, can help you plan for the life you want today, like he did for us, hugely and well into the future. You can call Craig at 1-800-528-1355, local 517-483-4893, or craig.stiles@ampf.com. His offices are located at 2400 Lake Lansing Road here in beautiful Lansing. Suite B is in Brilliant, or B is in Lansing, Michigan 48912. Again, if you're worried about a mid-Michigan Ameriprise guy and you say, well, you're listening to this in California or you're in Texas or wherever on the podcast, Ameriprise is huge, and this is the whole thing about our sponsors. They all have these giant networks of people. Everybody's networked now. So it doesn't matter. They can refer you. They can vet it. They can do the legwork for you. That's why you want to use our sponsors, because they work. And the easiest way to get to them is just go to our website, go to the homepage, and go to the bottom of the homepage, and boom, boom, boom. There's all the banners for all three of our sponsors, and away you go. Radio stations that have carried us in the past, that are still carrying us, the reason I say this, the stations that don't carry us anymore, is because things change with radio, broadcast radio, all the time. But I'm grateful. I'm so grateful to any station that put us on one time. I don't care. WGHN 92.1 carried us for a long time. Grand Haven, Michigan on the Lake Shore. WGIM 1240 AM is the flagship of the Michigan Talk Network, where our syndication is held. WJRW 1340 in Grand Rapids carried us for a long time. WKLQ 1490 Muskegon, Whitehall. WYPV, long breath there. WYPV FM 94.5 up in Mackinac City, up in the great north of Michigan. And, of course, our PBS affiliate at Michigan State University, AM 870 and 102.3 FM WKAR. So proud to be on Michigan State's PBS affiliate. Thanks again to Craig Stiles for creating Decidary Analytics, where we are making light of weighted decisions. That's what puts him over the top. That's the whole thing about Craig Stiles. All right, back to today's show. Justin Grinnell's here, everybody, and love having Justin in, because we like to talk about keeping people healthy, giving you good ideas from the pros, from the subject matter expert. And Justin's our local guy. He's a friend. I've known him for a long, long, long time, and we've been pals forever, and he's a Spartan. First bullet that we're going to touch on, that we'll start with, Justin sent over for me. Fitness focus for consumers. Strength training leads the way. There's so much happening in the strength training industry. There's so many books that are coming out influencing the gym industry. Justin, would you expand on that, please? We probably won't be able to cover this whole thing in the rest of this segment, but we'll carry this through. Go ahead. Please take that one on. That was a really good point. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. So I brought that up because, you, of course, have known, and many of us have known that, strength training is a pivotal part of fitness, along with, many other qualities. But, let's just talk about the fitness industry. Really, when I remember when I started my boot camps, the MAC, like 2005, you could see this big, wave of, cardio, metcon, metabolic type, places that were going to pop up, boot camp style things like F45, Orange Theory, Base Camp, all those type of, training, philosophies or training methods in boutiques. Because, people leave hot, they leave sweaty, they leave out of breath. And it's like, wow, I really, got my butt kicked, and this is great, which it is great. Nothing wrong with that at all. And so many places opened up like that. Some, succeeded, some failed. And, the HIIT class, so I think the consumers know if I say HIIT, high intensity interval training, which, has its place. And you're seeing that start to fade a little bit, at least in the industry. And also what the consumer is asking for. Now, it's still there. It's still a large part. they're going to be there. People still love it. People still love that burn, that sweat, that feel that they get when they leave that. But what the consumer is really seeing and really, looking at, as your whole, the refinement zone boomers category is they're like, wow, I need to get stronger. I need to, my doctor says I have osteopenia. I need to build some bone. Well, I need weight bearing things. I need to build muscle tissue, that type of thing. And then also the younger population, what you're seeing is, lifting weights is really cool. That when I was, started working out, no one was a female was really lifting weights. And now it's the cool thing to do in high school, junior high. They know they do it for strength conditioning now. Just about every sport does strength conditioning, as opposed to 20, 30 years ago, it's just the football team and maybe another team. And so the consumer's asking for more strength-based. So you're going to see more strength-based things come out in the boutique area. And also, Planet Fitness is really revving up a strength-based, kind of program. Crunch Fitness they already have theirs. You're also seeing Orange Theory really bring in more strength into their protocols. Even F45 is doing more strength things. I mean, I could go on with the different, chains and all that, but you're seeing that shift. There's another really good one you can look out for that we've looked at. Metabolic is a great one, made by two hockey guys, and really, really great franchise, strength-based. You're going to see that keep popping up, just like anything, Tom, as you've seen, fitness is cyclical. In nutrition, it kind of, things kind of come and go. They're hot, they're not, they're right, they're wrong, based on science or the consumer. But that's where it's going. And you're going to see strength is going to be the number one thing that the consumer will look for.
And it's absolutely spot on. Justin Grinnell is our guest today, everybody, talking fitness focus. The whole thing, and the thing about these chains, and no offense to the chains that are out there, but I read the Wall Street Journal and I read a lot of stuff. And so I just read something on F45 on how it's having financial troubles and how they if you don't morph, if you're not nimble, if you're not niche enough, you're going to be toast. And so that's why you really want to find people like a Justin, who Justin speaks all over the place as well, and he's really good at coaching people. And maybe you want to get started and move on to something and maybe go back to your home to do this. It's really good to learn from the experts. And that's what I'm doing. I have a person coming over this weekend where I'm going to train her in my basement gym and just give her some very functional things to start. She doesn't know anything about anything, but to find people that can train you, get you started, and be safe, right, Justin? I mean, take 30 seconds to kind of comment on that because we're going to go to break here. But getting with you and just getting a small package can be very beneficial.
Yeah, I think it's when you work with a trainer a couple of times, like this person coming over to see you is. Just show them, you show them the basics, you keep them safe, but really just make them more efficient. Say, how can I make your workouts a little more efficient, right? Like, you're doing this, you're doing that, or maybe nothing. Let's just make sure we're doing enough of the right things so we don't, get off course and do things that are just filling our time. Get efficient with your workout, do what you need to do because there's so many things you need to do in a day so you can make it more of a habit.
And that's the whole thing about getting an evaluation from a certified trainer, somebody who really knows their stuff, getting a good evaluation and finding out what the client needs and what do they want to do and what is your goal. You need to have that relationship and build that. We'll talk more about that here. We're going to go to break here. I'm going to reset all of this. Fitness Focus. Justin Grinnell's back, the owner of State of Fitness, and love having him on the show. Again, Justin Grinnell's back, Fitness Focus. You're listening to The Tom Matt Show.
Thank you again to our Segment 2 sponsor, Craig Stiles of Ameriprise Financial. For more information on services provided by Craig, please visit ameripriseadvisors.com/craig.stiles or by calling 517-483-4893. You're tuned in to The Tom Matt Show.
Sponsor of the third segment of The Tom Matt Show. So grateful to say this. So nice to have a subject matter expert in the law business. White Law, Jamie. If you missed his first episode with us, please go check that out. It's up on the website, tommattshow.com. Guy just drilled it. I mean, he's talked about his business, the entrepreneurial thing, going through being a non-traditional student, meeting his wife, all of it. And so it's all really good. White Law, PLLC, where justice meets compassion. I like that line a lot. It's so spot on and short. White Law is your advocate in times of need. They are here to listen, support, and fight for what you deserve. And that's the whole thing about having these professionals. You got a Brock Fletcher. You got a Craig Styles. You got Jamie White. You got Justin Grinnell. We have a lot of really good local people who can help you locally. And if you want to reach out to them, reach out to them. If they don't know somebody locally, or if you're not local, they'll know somebody who's in your area. I'm pretty sure of that. Absolutely. Again, White Law is our sponsor. Call for a free consultation if you need Jamie. Call Jamie. That's what I do on all our posts all the time. And Jamie's also sponsoring the Mad Dog Minutes, which is great. Dave's doing a great job. David DeMarco's doing a great job with those. You can visit whitelawpllc.com, whitelawpllc.com, or call 517-777-9785. And again, bottom of our homepage, that's where our banners are. That's where you can find our people. And that's where you can just click up right on through, and away we go. Matter of fact, I got to get Justin to send me his banner so we can put that there too, because he's a regular and I love his work, and we're great friends, and we're going to do that. Because you have to have relationships with people and help them promote things. That's the way it works. All right, Jay, let's go back to finish that thread of what you were talking about with strength training. Strength training leads us into your second point. If you want to finish that thread a little bit, and then, the second point is dealing with weight loss drugs. So they kind of, you've married these together really nicely, but finish the thread on what you were talking about with that, and then weave in that, the easy way, the new way for the pharmaceutical industry to make $1 billion. It's just crazy.
Yeah. I mean, so kind of going back on the strength training thing, and because it's going into, weight loss, right, is, in the consumer's mind, which it makes a lot of sense if, you go to a HIIT class and you are going really hard and your heart rate's up all the time and you're breathing and heavy and burning calories. You think, oh, I'm gonna get results. Well, what I like to tell people is when you think of strength training is going to help build muscle and bone, and it's going to have the biggest effect on your body composition, right? Whereas cardiovascular training, or we can throw HIIT training, whatever, we're thinking about the heart, the lungs, the vascular system. Okay. And so cardiovascular exercise isn't necessarily going to be the best weight loss tool. I mean, exercise in general, because there's so many things that cause weight loss, but you have to think that you really just need both. And that HIIT training necessarily isn't the best cardio training for everybody, because you really want to get into this zone of cardio where you're building the heart in a eccentric and a concentric contraction. Now, when your heart is 95% max heart rate, it's fluttering, so it's not going to do that. So you need a little bit of that. And I think that the HIIT training should be more heart rate based, not I'm just going to go as hard as I can based, so you can really see if you're making progress. And then also going back to some of that just old school steady state cardio, that's going to be great, especially as you age, for recovery on an off day. So I hope the strength training push can continue to shift people's mindset that cardio doesn't equal weight loss, but it is very important for health and longevity and so forth. And another thing that's been debunked a lot, but still out there is, I don't want to lift weights, I want to get too bulky and that type of thing. So, we know that's not true, but still out there. And so I think that as the strength training becomes even more and more what the consumer wants, they're gonna learn that stuff.
The weight loss drugs that are coming, that I want to be careful with what I say here, because I don't want to discourage people, because everybody needs, if you've been sedentary for a long time and you are just feeling like, I don't fit in, I don't want to do this, I need something to get me started. If your doctor prescribes it and they think it's going to help your health, great. I mean, I'm totally down with it, 100%. But you've got to, it's just that can't be the factor that drives you. What you have to do is you got to think about the whole package. And so, Justin, please comment on that. I like this, the influence on the industry, how that's going to affect people, and how are your trainers handling all this? What's the scuttle with all your pros?
Yeah, so we still, I think there's still information that needs to be learned. It needs to be out longer and see what happens with people, how it affects them. But it's a big business. It's big business, and so that's always going to get people's eyes. Pharmaceutical companies a ton of money. And it's attractive, for someone that really struggles with weight. They think about food all the time. They just can't, figure out, how they can lose weight and be healthier, et cetera. It's going to be very attractive. And, in some cases, like you said, hey, if the doctor thinks it's better for you or it's going to help you, then hey, just go underneath that doctor's supervision. Because I'm not going to tell anybody to take it or not take it, because that's not my place. However, we just need to make sure we get people to think more and ask better questions and understand that, it's not really going to fix much. Because what can happen, from what I know, is you take a drug that really blunts your hunger, right? Well, you're not going to eat, and you're going to lose weight. There's no doubt about it. But unfortunately, what happens, and we have a friend that has a clinic, and they do mostly like skin stuff, but they do the semaglutide and stuff like that, is people, are basically get malnourished, right? They don't get enough minerals. They don't get enough fatty acids. They don't eat. And so other things can happen. So such as, brittle hair, poor skin, low energy, frailty, whatever it is. Not to mention all the other, every drug has its side effects. This one, I have a couple of GI docs. I know they see gallstones, acid reflux, whatever. There's going to be some problems. And if you're going to do it, you've got to make sure you're talking to the right medical professional. Because my fear is that people will take it, they won't eat, which they will lose weight. They won't necessarily change any habits. And then let's just say they go off it or don't want to take it, or they have some drastic side effects. They've got to have a better plan. And that's the problem with this drug, is there's not a plan with it from people. And if you're just going to take it and not change anything in your life, you're going to have some problems, I'm assuming, because it just really makes sense. It adds up. So if you're going to do it, you've got to really do it right. You've got to make sure that you're under the care of a medical professional, because you can get it. I know hair salons that sell it, right? So because you have a medical professional on staff, anybody can get it. And so it's going to get crazy before it gets any better. And so I think 2024, we're going to see a lot of weight loss drug stories. That's for sure.
What are your pros thinking about it? What's their vibe?
Interesting enough, I saw something by some very well-respected trainers, and they said what I just said. We've got to make sure we tell people they got to be careful. We got to make sure we're doing this right. Or if you even need it, right? Do you really need it? If you need to lose 20 pounds, do you really need it? No, probably not. I think that if anybody's going to use it, let's just say the 100+ pound person that needs to use it, they've struggled for years, can't figure it out. Okay, well, maybe we could talk to the doctor and see if this is appropriate. We got to get the fitness in line and nutrition line. That's the person that, hey, this may be the last chance. You got a lot of visceral fat, you've got heart, whatever, you've got diabetes. Okay, we need to, maybe that's an intervention, but the person that's 10, 20, 30, even 40, 50 pounds overweight, I think you're within reach. Let's have you really given it your best effort? But there are some people it may be there for, right? But we think that it could I think it'll hopefully just get people to think about exercising more. If you're losing weight and getting more excited about losing weight, you're probably going to want to start moving and working out. So that could be a benefit, so we're trying to look at that as, all right, well, you're going to do this, but you got to work out. Like, you just can't take this drug and not work out. And this is the problem.
It is a good step on the ladder of success. That's the way I'm going to frame this whole thing up here. And I'm going to take this through to break, Justin, because we're coming up on it. Justin Grinnell is with us, 6th visit, owner of State of Fitness, awesome gym, downtown Lansing. If you want to get good trainers, you want to get some good help, you want to get just maybe some just excellent instruction to start you off, that's the place to go. Fitness Focus, Justin Grinnell. You're listening to The Tom Matt Show.
Thank you again to our segment 3 sponsor, White Law PLLC, where justice meets compassion. White Law is your advocate in times of need. We are here to listen, support, and fight for what you deserve. Contact White Law today for your free consultation. Visit us at whitelawpllc.com or call 517-777-9785. This is The Tom Matt Show.
Segment 4 sponsor for our radio program is our other brother from another mother, real estate expert, reality of real estate, Brock Fletcher, selling team of Keller Williams Realty. Got to say a shout out to Mike Dedman again. Full disclosure, they sold our big house, Holt. They found us Little House Lansing. Thank you to Mike Dedman on that one. And it's all just worked out fantastic. He's helped so many people across this area. And that's the other thing about what I was saying about these our sponsors. They're all networked across the country. Jamie's networked across the country. He talked about that in his first episode. He's a part of this giant, I don't recall the name of the system that he's with, this law firm thing, but same thing with, it's just like the Keller Williams network or the Ameriprise network of people. They're big. And so you want to check out the selling team of Keller Williams Realty, his whole staff. They do an awesome job, and they took care of us. And we trust them implicitly, 150%. And go listen to some of these episodes, you guys. Go listen to some of the episodes on our website, tommattshow.com. And just, he's got like, I don't know, 15 or so. Craig's got 20 plus. And Jamie's going to have more as we continue to go. It's important to find these people. Go listen to them. They will refer you to the right people. That's the thing about our people that come on the show, our friends, my brothers from Mother to Mother. They're all down, okay? Phone numbers, 517-853-6408 or the super secret number, 517-303-3262. Go to online to kwsellingteam.com or, like I said earlier, bottom of our homepage. Click on through, take you right to their website, easy peasy, and away you go. Most real estate offices, agents start marketing when they get your listing. Brock is an investor that invests with his people like me and helps us. So we promote him so you can get the right people to help you. That's the name of the game. And there is no pressure whatsoever. If you need help with an issue with your real estate or you're planning or you got something going on or you're like us, you're downsizing or you're upsizing with interest rates coming down. And what Brock said in his last episode, you guys, spot on. He said by the mid 2024, interest rates are coming down. Guess what? He was right. They're coming down. And so all good. That's all I'm going to say about that. Brock Fletcher, the selling teams of Keller Williams Realty. All right. My guest today is my bro, Justin Grinnell, talking about State of Fitness, his gym, downtown Lansing, sweet, totally awesome, clean. It's very unique and it's interesting. And the thing about it is the people. It's all about the people. If you go into, nothing against the box gyms, we talked about this before, but nothing against the box gyms. But if you want to go to the boutique gyms where you're going to get this more personalized service, you're going to get more bang for your buck. If you want to just go pay your $10 a month and go in and do your own thing on your own, fine, great. Hey, we're both proponents of getting people healthy. We're just talking about the weight loss drugs. If it's a step on the ladder, great. Another step on the ladder coming from Justin, AI and tech. Will it replace trainers and gyms? I'm curious to see what you got to say about this one, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's something that is just going to keep coming up and coming up. Because it's just going to get better and better. AI, tech, whether it's, a mirror, a screen, a hologram. I mean, there'll definitely be hologram trainers that could be in your living room one day and probably be pretty good. And, as a trainer, when we went through the COVID stuff, not everybody, but people were saying, hey, are you nervous about, only online training, because we didn't know what was going on at that time, at least in the beginning. And I always thought, no, there's no way that's ever going to happen. That we're going to be in person, again. And that's because the connection of in-person human interaction will always be there. So I don't think it'll ever will replace. I think it'll enhance the fitness industry. It'll allow folks to maybe make it more convenient at home. It may be more inspiring to them. It may be more efficient for them. What it will do for trainers, I think it'll bridge the gap for us to get our clients to do their homework. Because, if someone is in our small group training, which is a more affordable thing, 1, 2, 3 times a week, that's fantastic. They get here. We want them 3 times a week, if we can, in private training, but that's not feasible for everybody, time, money, etc. But we need to do something just about every day. It doesn't have to be big, but it's got to be some movement. And so that could be something that'd be a useful resource for us. As long as, they're obviously getting the right, coaching and the right training philosophy that lines up with the trainer. So I think it could be something that will enhance our business at some point. I don't think we'll know that until down the road. I think there'll be some things we need to figure out, but it could be a tool, just like an app. We have a workout app, right? And in that portal, we've got all our workouts posted and there's videos and you communicate with the client. And it's been around for a while. But it's just been another tool. I'm not going to lose my client to Joe whoever or Jane whoever selling their workout on an app, because they're going to miss the connection, they're going to miss the trust, the accountability. So in-person stuff will always be here. So I'm trying to look at it as this AI hologram trainer, whatever it is going to be something that'll be benefit for us.
Everybody's got to remember that part of the gym is the social experience, because human beings are social animals and we like to be around other people. It's very healthy for us to be around other people. Problem with the growing older population is when you become so focused on not getting out that you become kind of a hermit and your quality of life goes down the toilet. It's just gyms. I love going to the gym because I love the social. I'm just a social person. I like it. When I work out at home, it's fine. Just what I wrote down with what you were saying with the AI and tech is it's an augmentation of the whole program. And that's it's another step on the ladder. And I kind of like the whole thought of it with the weight loss drugs, and the AI and tech is another step on the ladder. Then you have your group fitness, all of these little steps to help people get healthy. That's all we're trying to do, right? We're just trying to get people to just have options, and whatever works for you is what we're trying to do, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there will be a struggle with, trainers understanding how are we going to use this and how does it work for us as trainers, or even strength coaches for their athletes when they're maybe not in season, and, all sorts of things. I think there'd be a lot to figure out. Sometimes it makes you nervous because it's just one more thing you have to learn. How many, you can attest to this, and anybody can, is how do we know, 20, 30 years ago, whatever, when you're going to school, that you'd have to know IT. I'm a trainer, I'm a strength coach, I'm a health guy, but I've got to know how to figure out some code on my website. I've got to figure out how to post stuff. I've got to figure out how to write copy, all that type of thing. We didn't know any of this stuff would be part of our job description. My first personal training book was a spellbound book. I don't even think I got DVDs yet. And so, it's going to be tough to adapt, but I think that as long as there's so many resources out there, we're just going to have to be willing to learn. And trust me, I don't want to do it. I'll be honest with you. I don't want to. I like the old school, but it's here, and you got to evolve with it.
You got to be nimble, you got to be flexible, and you got to be able to move, because what I wrote down, Jay, listening to you speak, is fear of the unknown, and we just have to embrace it. If you're going to live in the 21st century with technology, it's obviously here. This stuff is not going away. It's going to get more robust. You have to embrace it. And so what works for you? Find your little niche. That's why having a personal trainer or someone you can go to for a group fitness, and the people that you meet in your group can help each other. And that's what we want to try to promote here, is with the small, and that's where the cost comes down with the small group fitness. And that's where Justin's got this really cool model at the State of Fitness. Justin, we got about 30 seconds to go. Please comment on that with your small group fitness and how effective that is with just making friends and getting inside people's head.
Yeah, so bridging the gap between private training and large group training. Large group training, you're not getting enough coaching, individualization. Private training, maybe a little too expensive. So the small group training, you have about 4 up to 6 people in a group. You're working out together. It is modified, progressed, for you. And so you get the social aspect. You get to come more frequently, keeps the cost down. So again, another thing in the fitness industry, I think small group training will be the biggest thing that trainers can enhance their careers with. So
there's AI and tech, the new drugs that have come out, all of this, everybody, going back to the ladder analogy, and I'm going to carry this through, Justin, because we're coming up on break. All of these tools, and again, this is coming right from Justin, these are all tools in our toolbox. And if you have better tools in your toolbox, then perhaps we can have better results with our job. And that's how what I do now with my being in the refinement zone myself. I look at my workouts every morning at the university as part of my job. That is part of my job to keep me sharp. So I want my tools to be the best that we have. And so I want to go to a place that has the tools. And that's what you want to try to figure out. Fitness Focus with Justin Grinnell. Segment 5 coming up here in just a moment. We'll get Justin's contact info, all of those good things. You're listening to The Tom Matt Show.
Thank you again to our segment 4 sponsor, Brock Fletcher, real estate agent at the selling team with Keller Williams Realty. For more information on services provided by Brock, please call his personal cell phone at 517-303-3262 or by emailing Brock at kwsellingteam.com. This is the Tom Matt Show.
Welcome back to the 5th segment of the Tom Matt Show. So glad that you're here with us on the podcast or on some of our radio stations that are carrying us. Definitely AM 870 WKAR carrying us on Sundays at 5. You can get there. You can go ahead and get that and you stream that bad boy if you want to listen to all segments. Or you go to our website, tommattshow.com, get all of our previous episodes. You want to check out Justin Grinnell. You want to listen about State of Fitness when they did their move. We did an episode on that. It was really, really well done. The entrepreneurial side of business, I'm really into all of that as well. How do we promote the retirement zone of Lansing, Michigan? Because we love Lansing, Michigan, and it's in the surrounding areas around here. So enough said about that. Jay, how do people find you? What would you like? How would you like them to connect with you? Please go right ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you can go to our website because you'll have all the links and tools right there, mystateoffitness.com. And you'll see everything from, the LinkedIns and Facebooks and Instagrams and so forth there. You can take a look. We post a lot on Instagram. Right now, we have a few things. We have a 21-day membership where you basically get to try all the training we have to offer. You get to do an in-body scan. You get a MyZone heart rate monitor belt. You get a bunch of different things just to give us a shot. No commitment after that. We don't do contracts or anything. And we also have something called a personal training primer where we have it's a better deal for 4 training sessions in the month. You also get a couple group training sessions each week, another consult, access to the facility, etc. And we just bring that cost down all the way through February just to give it a shot. We try to give it a low entry barrier just to come and see what you like, because we really believe in trying it before you really commit and buying it. So that's what we have going.
That's awesome. And it's so user-friendly. And again, it's the relationships, everybody. It's all about the relationships. If you're new to the fitness industry, if you haven't been at a gym in a long time and you're on the fence with all of this, these are the kind of people you want to get with. And I'm not just my integrity is very, very important to me, everybody. 100%. So you can put the trust in all of our sponsors and the people that we have on this show. I highly, highly endorse anything that Justin's got to say. That's why he's on the show, because we're pals and I trust him, and you will as well. You'll like all the people over there. They're all excellent. mystateoffitness.com is where you want to go. All right, here's the big one. Let me rehash what we've done already today, everybody, because Justin brought in some really good points. We talked about fitness focus for consumers, strength training, which leads the way, which is very, very important because it's getting a lot more play now with the strength training, which is great. And we all wonder why it took so long. Weight loss drugs, we talked about that a little bit. We're going to talk about that a little bit more here in a second. AI and tech was what we talked about in the previous segment. How that will it replace trainers in gyms? We'll see. It's another step in the ladder. There's no way it'll ever replace anything. These things are all just tools. They're just making things better. You just got to be careful what you're going to buy out there. That's another reason to get with these professionals, because you hate to spend the money. And Justin doesn't have any. He just said he doesn't have any contracts. So, I guarantee you, when you get the virtual Justin Grinnell coming in your living room, there's going to be a contract for that. I mean, you're going to pay for that, and it's going to be. And if you don't like it, oh well, so sad. All right, last point, and I like this one a lot. Very clever. Justin came up with this. Will we ever agree on the best diet? And I'm not going to say what he said after that. Will we ever agree on the best diet, getting away from the weight loss drugs where you're not eating any food and, you're just withering away, which is awful, sounds terrible. But if it gets you in that right place, as we said, again, no offense to anybody out there, if this is helping you get there and it will help you on your journey, fantastic. But don't use it as a be-all, end-all. That's what we're trying to say. Will we ever agree on a best diet, Justin Grinnell? Go right ahead, my man.
Yeah, well, of course not. Absolutely not. And I brought that up, Tom, because, it's just so hard. It's, I know Chris, our mutual friend Chris. He's probably just came and stand hearing it anymore because media and movies are always going to make people confused, right? So you've got the new one by the creator of Game Changers called "You Are What You Eat" on Netflix, and it's everybody's watching it and so forth. And while they give a lot of good information, there's a lot of misinformation, right? And it's hard to talk to your clients about what's right and what's wrong because there's really no right or wrong answer. But all of them come down to the same conclusion: eat whole foods, don't eat a lot of processed foods, keep your don't go too crazy on one macronutrient or the other, and try to stay in your caloric range. I mean, it's all the same stuff. What I don't like is, and I don't want to use the word like vegan propaganda or something, but that's how the movie comes across to me. It's like you're only promoting one side, you're putting down another side, doing silly studies that aren't really studies and telling people, oh, we proved this is correct, and you need to do this. I just don't like that message, whether it's right or wrong. I didn't agree or disagree with the movie. It's just how they messaged it. So there's never be a perfect diet. It's going to be exploratory for the rest of your life. A lot of it's just common sense. Overeating, not eating things that were processed. And that's really what it comes down to. I could tell you that eat high protein, eat low protein, eat more vegan, whatever. It's just not going to work for everybody. I do go back to one thing though, Tom, and this is something I always think about. Okay, if a carnivore guy says this, and a paleo guy says that, and a vegan girl says this. Here's what I always think of. If you and I were trapped, and I've watched a lot of these survival shows, and we literally have to find food, and we have nothing. And, we find some berries, and we find some leaves, and we find, whatever. Well, we're going to get hungry. And the first thing we're thinking about is, what can we kill to eat? I've got to find something. And I've seen vegans on the shows say, I don't care. I am done being a vegan. It's been 30 days. I've eaten leaves and branches. I need something. You kill that squirrel over there, I'm going to eat it. It does come back to there's a little bit of animal instinct, what you need to eat. I do feel that animal protein, high quality, is something that everybody needs to have. But you also need fruit. You also need vegetables. You also need other things to make you feel good, like potatoes. It's just not a right answer, right? But I try to go back to common sense. What would you do if you're stranded on an island? Don't eat too much. Don't eat processed foods. But also, I'm a big proponent of I will never say I won't eat a certain food because I like to explore, go to different cities, try different foods, different cultures. I'm going to keep myself open to, I'm not going to be a zealot. I'm never going to eat this, right? But it just really comes down to that. And then you've got to just take the energy and time to figure out what works for you. And what's going to work is do you feel like you're energetic? Can you do the things you want to do? Are you at a healthy body weight? Those are the parameters that you need to look at. So, we can go on and on, but I just am so sick of these movies, quite honestly, because I think it sends a wrong message, no matter what message it's sent.
It's propaganda. It's propaganda. And there's, as you said, I love the word packaging. It's like the packaging of the movie. Who's financing the movie? Who's financing the supposed scientific study? Follow the science. I'm so sick of following the science. It's like, come on, let's get real here. It's just, it is crazy. And again, be smart about this stuff. I was thinking as I was listening to you talk, Justin Grinnell is my guest today, everybody. We're talking about Fitness Focus. He's the owner of the State of Fitness in Lansing, Michigan. I was thinking about the Japanese culture where they have, and I forget the word, a Japanese word, where they have smaller plates and they eat smaller portions. So they don't have the big calorie. So say you're doing, like you're saying, you travel a lot, you go to these different places. You don't have to eat everything in front of you. Right? That's the whole thing. It's like portion control. It's all about, and one thing that I've learned, especially now that I'm getting older, is getting okay with feeling a little hungry is for me, okay. And it actually reminds me it's okay, right? What's your take on that?
No, 100% agree. I think people need to feel hungry. That's why it saddens me when I see the billboards that say, oh, kids are going hungry. I'm like, how are kids going hungry? Like, who do I need to go bring my food to? Like, I want to donate my food because the abundance of food that we have at our access is amazing. So for me to see the billboard like that breaks my heart. It's like, well, geez, there's a lot of people that give away a lot of food, and there's no kid that should be going hungry, because this country of ours has more food than we can even consume. So that's sad. You need to feel a little bit of hunger. It's healthy for you. We have studies on it. I mean, it makes you more energetic. And, I always tell myself, if I do, I held off on eating something before I came on this, because before I speak, podcast, sit in front of people, coach, I want a little bit of hunger, because I feel like it gives me that a little bit more vigor. I feel like it gives me a little bit more energy. If I eat, it brings me down a little bit, because I want that sense of, it's almost like I know I'm working towards that meal. I don't know. I don't know what the mental thing is of it, but being hungry is okay. And I don't think, you can go a long time without eating. You got to get air. You've got to get some water. You got to move, but it's okay to be hungry. That's why I say this, Tom, snacks are for kids. Okay. Adults don't need snacks. All right. It's snacks. I've helped so many, in particular, stay-at-home moms lose weight by saying, you know what? Eat breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack at nothing. And they come back and say, wow, I really didn't realize how much I snack. It's just mindless. I just see it. It's just right there. You don't need to snack. If you're getting low blood sugar, you got to check something else out. Something else is going on. You don't need to snack unless, of course, you have diabetes and there's some special considerations. But yeah, you can go hungry.
Well said. I don't even need a close from him. We're coming up on a close of the episode. Justin Grinnell was with me. MyStateOfFitness.com is his website. Go there. He's all over social media. Justin Grinnell, look him up. He's on our website. It's all there. Justin, thank you so much for being with me again today. Excellent job. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. Always fun. We can keep going and going.
If our show fits your business or group's mission, we want to be of service to you. You know how we do this thing. Always remember, before you can share love with others, you must love yourself first. Thanks again to Justin Grinnell, Sandy Mack, Craig Stiles, Brock Fletcher. Thank you for being with us, everybody. Remember, Tom Matt Show's production of Boomers Rock Media. We want to bring your story to life. And again, thank you to Mitch Anderson. You the man. We're out.
The Tom Matt Show is produced by Mitch Anderson of Black Circle Studios. Original music from the Source of Light and Power by the Ark of All.